It all started with a sound. A faint, familiar ping echoed through the darkness of the room at 3 a.m., breaking the silence of the night. Andres, startled out of his light sleep, groggily reached for his phone, assuming it was a random notification, or perhaps a message from a late-night insomniac friend. But as his tired eyes adjusted to the screen, he froze. The notification was from the office group chat, and the sender's name made his heart skip a beat. Laura, his coworker who had tragically passed away in a car accident 6 months ago. How are the quarterly reports coming along? Don't forget about tomorrow's meeting at 10 a.m., the message read. Andres sat up in bed, now fully awake, staring at the message. His brain scrambled for an explanation. Perhaps it was an error, someone using Laura's old phone number, or maybe her account had been hacked. Yet, the message wasn't generic. It was direct, specific, and eerily relevant to their current workload. As he reread it, a cold sensation crept down his spine. Trying to shake off the unease, he locked his phone and convinced himself it was a glitch, nothing more. But deep inside, he felt something wasn't right. The next morning at the office, the atmosphere was tense. Everyone had seen the message, and while a few joked nervously about Laura watching over them, others avoided the subject altogether. It was easier to dismiss it than confront the unsettling implications. The 10 a.m. meeting mentioned in the message took place as scheduled. Oddly enough, Laura's reminder proved timely. An important detail about the quarterly reports had indeed been overlooked, something that could have jeopardized their presentation. It was as though the message had arrived just in time to prevent disaster. Over the following days, Laura's account became unexpectedly active. Messages would pop up in the chat at random times, always relevant and often solving minor issues or offering helpful suggestions. Check the shared folder. There's a duplicate file, one read. Another said, the new employee is struggling with the system. Someone should assist her. Each message was eerily accurate, almost as if Laura, or whoever was behind the account, was still observing their daily activities. The group that once buzzed with casual banter and work updates became a source of unease. People hesitated to chat openly, fearing what might trigger a response. At first, most chalked it up to a cruel prank or a bizarre technical error. But as the messages grew more frequent and specific, their tone began to shift. It wasn't just helpful reminders anymore. There was something almost personal. Andres, who had been close to Laura, started to feel that these weren't random coincidences. The phrasing, the timing, even the choice of words, it all felt like her. And then, one night, Andres received a private message. Andres, don't trust them. You're closer than you think. The words felt like a slap. His hands trembled as he read and reread the message, his mind racing. Closer to what? Don't trust who? He tried responding, typing out shaky questions. Laura, is this you? What do you mean? But no reply came. He stared at the screen until his eyes burned, the message haunting him long after he turned off the phone. Unable to let it go, Andres began digging into Laura's past work at the company. She had been meticulous, sharp, always ahead of the curve. In her final months, she had been assigned to a major financial project, one she had often described as too messy to be accidental. As he sifted through her notes and emails, Andres discovered discrepancies in the company's accounts, irregular transactions, hidden balances, and transfers to unknown entities. It became clear that Laura had stumbled onto something big, something dangerous, and then she had died. The official story was straightforward, a tragic car accident caused by a reckless driver. But Andres couldn't shake the feeling that it was too convenient. The timing, her cryptic warnings, the sudden resurgence of her presence in the group chat, it all pointed to something far more sinister. Was it possible Laura's death hadn't been an accident? And if that was true, who had silenced her? As Andres delved deeper, strange things began to happen. Files he'd reviewed on his computer would vanish or appear altered. The office lights flickered unpredictably, casting eerie shadows over his late-night research sessions. And the messages kept coming, more urgent than ever. Be careful. They're watching you. He wasn't sure whether to feel protected or paranoid. One evening, as he pored over a particularly damning spreadsheet, his phone buzzed again. It was another message from Laura's account, but this time it wasn't text. It was a voice note. With trembling fingers, Andres pressed play. The static-filled recording was barely audible, but beneath the crackle, he could make out her voice. "Andres, they know. Stop now, or you'll be next." The message ended abruptly, leaving him in stunned silence. He sat there for what felt like hours, the weight of her warning pressing down on him. The next day, Andres confided in Mariana, the company's administrative head. Together, they pieced through Laura's findings, uncovering more evidence of corruption and embezzlement. But Mariana, once skeptical, now seemed genuinely terrified. "If this is true," she whispered, "it means some very powerful people are involved. You have to be careful, Andres. People don't just die for no reason." As if on cue, Andres began to notice he was being followed. Cars lingered too long behind him on his drive home. Strangers seemed to watch him for a beat too long in public places. The paranoia aided him, but he couldn't stop. He felt an obligation to Laura, to the truth, to see this through. But as the walls closed in, he realized he needed to act fast. Late one night, he compiled everything he had: emails, documents, screenshots of Laura's messages. He sent the entire package to a trusted journalist, someone known for exposing corporate misconduct. Andres knew it was a gamble, one that might cost him his job, his safety, maybe even his life. But he couldn't keep quiet. The journalist responded within hours, intrigued and ready to investigate. The fallout was swift. Within days, the journalist published an explosive expose detailing the corruption within the company. The article implicated several high-ranking executives in financial crimes and revealed a web of deceit that reached far beyond their office walls. The story gained national attention, and law enforcement began to investigate. The company went into crisis mode. Executives were fired, lawsuits were filed, and arrests were made. Andres watched it all unfold, a mix of relief and dread coursing through him. But even as justice seemed to prevail, Andres couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't over. The group chat, silent for weeks, lit up one final time. A single message from Laura's account appeared. "Thank you, Andres. You did what I couldn't. But be careful, they're still out there." To this day, Andres isn't sure what to believe. Was Laura's account truly being used by her spirit to warn him and guide him to the truth? Or was it someone else? Someone who wanted justice but remained in the shadows? He never found out. But one thing is certain: some secrets refuse to stay buried, and some voices, even after death, demand to be heard. If this story gave you chills and left you thinking about the mysteries that linger just beyond our understanding, don't forget to give this video a like, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps these eerie tales alive, and we can't wait to bring you more stories like this. See you in the next video, where the unknown awaits.